This is a very impromptu live, but I just felt it on my spirit to really talk about this, right? So, I'm going to give it a couple of minutes for people to come in and then I will quickly chat about the topic. All right? So, I'm just going to give people a couple minutes to come in and then I'll be back with the topic. Hello, Joanna. Thank you for being here today. I ask that you please like the video on your way in, right? Show some love. Yeah, this topic is, again, it's impromptu, but I felt that I had to say something about it because there's kind of a weird glory around what it is that I do being chosen for this type of work. As someone who is in touch with the spiritual realm, as someone that is um who is psychic, who does see things, right? I feel like we're usually stuck between a rock and a hard place because many times people, you know, will come to us for help, for assistance, what do you see? But then if you don't see what they want, or if you don't tell them what they want to hear, then that's when they, quote unquote, the phrase unalive the messenger. And it's our duty to tell the truth of what we see, especially when people come to us, whether that information is what someone wants to hear or not. We have to tell the truth, right? And me, as someone who does this, I only speak in truth with what I truly see, right? And that's what I tell people, that's what I give people. Now, another side to that is, even when people don't come to you specifically for insight, for clarity, and you're receiving all this information from the spiritual world, sometimes you pick up on things that you don't want to pick up on. Sometimes, you see things that you don't want to pick up on, right? Just general things, right? And when you're picking up on energy and reading energy and everything like that, you know, and yeah, you have to sift through it or whatnot, but make no mistake about it, when you see things that are endings, when you see things that are akin to destruction, right? It's not always, it's not always fun. Like that's not fun, right? Um, that's not fun. It's not fun to be the one to have to explain the messages regarding endings, regarding destruction, regarding karmic debts, things like that. That's not fun, right? They want us to see the future for lottery numbers and what's going on with their boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever, but it's much deeper than that, right? Hey Tim Lee, thanks for being here. It's much deeper than that, right? Especially if you feel energy like I do. I feel all of these energetic shifts and changes. And then when I feel them, I usually end up seeing in real time what I'm feeling, right? So I'll see humans doing something or experiencing something that aligns with the energy that I'm feeling, right? And it can get heavy at times. It can really get heavy at times. And people want the quote unquote the glory, the only the quote unquote good parts, only quote unquote the love and light, woo woo, fluffy bunny part of it. But like I said, when you're chosen for this and you deal with this all the time, you don't just see the beautiful things, the successes, the people getting ahead, the progress, the you don't just see that. You see everything, including destructions and including endings, right? Including those for those who believe in karma. I'm using a word that some people can identify with, including the karmas, including the results of actions that one has taken. And usually those quote unquote karmic repercussions are usually amplified by the spiritual energy, by the changes in the energetic makeup. So, sometimes it's you have to understand that this is it's fulfilling work because I was born with this, with a family lineage of, you know, psychic phenomena and sensing energy and being prophetic and things like that. I was born into this, but this isn't fun. A lot of times this is not fun, and you hate to see things because you really don't like seeing the bad. No one likes seeing the bad, and it's not talked about enough how people don't like seeing the bad, how we see the bad, how we have to deal with that. Our feelings and what's our place in it, especially if we have to explain things to people. Because a lot of times when you're explaining things to people, right? And it's something they don't want to hear or quote unquote it's negative, they shoot you. They shoot the messenger. They shoot the messenger. They get mad at us. They get mad at people like me. And that's it's not fair, but it does come with this kind of work. It's it's a consequence of being this type of person, right? So yeah, I say all that to say that if you do know people in your life who are the prophets, quote unquote, who are the messengers, who are the ones explaining things to you, and then they're usually right, you have to give them some grace. You have to uplift them because sometimes we are burdened with doing this work. Again, for me, it's fulfilling, but it is work. It's a lot of work. And again, if you're hearing stuff you don't want to hear, I'm sorry, it's too bad. That's too bad. Because those of us who are doing this for real, we are we're doing it with truth and honesty. But that doesn't always bring, the friendly faces, right? So, I wanted to talk about that really quickly. Um Please like the video if you're here. Consider subscribing to my channel, you know, um, liking the video and sharing the video. It's free to do, right? I don't browbeat you all with trying to pay me for something. I don't do that. But yeah, it really is tough sometimes to be the person to see things, and then it's really, really hard to explain to those who may not be knowledgeable about the subject, about energies, to explain what's going on, because we are the ones that end up getting beat up, verbally beat up, or I've never been cussed out, but I can tell when people don't like the messages. I can tell that. And I say all that to say, it does get hard sometimes. It does get hard sometimes, especially, when you have to break things to people. It does get hard when you have to explain what's going on with someone's favorite person, with someone they that society has put on a pedestal. When you have to reveal truths about things, when you have to, show that, hey, they did have a hand in their undoing, right? It's all nice and fun when it's someone you don't like. It's real easy to point the finger at someone that you don't like and be like, see, that's what you get. But it's hard for some of you all, and I'm just speaking in general, to understand that, yeah, even some of your favorite people, with their actions that they can change at any time. Yes, some of them did it to themselves. Some of them did it to themselves. And again, like I said, it's not easy to be the psychic, the medium, the one who is, I'm sorry, hurting your feelings when it comes to your special important person. But it is what it is. I have to speak the truth when I see things. Hey, Nyla. Hey, Donna. I have to speak the truth when I see things. I have to. I'm sorry. I just won't lie. And there are a lot of people who will lie to people, for money, for views, for notoriety. I won't do it. I won't do it. I respect what I do. I respect being given this gift. And when I see what I see, I just have to tell you or whoever it is straight up what it is. I just have to speak straight up on it. But again, it's just really, really sad that, people always, quote unquote, shoot the messenger when they don't want to hear it. That's not on me. How you take information, yeah, I can, and we can, people who are like this can work on delivery, right? But if it's something that you don't want to hear, I can't fix that for you. I can't fix that for you. But you need to hear it if it's important. Oh, don't worry about that, Donna says. She says, sorry, my Wi-Fi been struggling the past few days. Don't worry about that. I'm glad you got some Wi-Fi. Internet is an essential tool. But yeah, like I said, people want to. It's funny because my husband, he always asks me, like, well, can we get the lottery numbers? And I'm like, no, baby, don't work like that. People want to see the future for lottery numbers, for stuff like that, instead of using what you see as a way to guide your path and potentially grow as a person, right? If you're seeing situations and things like that, that you can avoid or be knowledgeable about or plan, they don't want to use it for that. But yeah, so it is hard out here in these spiritual psychic streets, because a lot of people just humans, what I've noticed is that humans, including myself, have a problem with endings, right? Because we often forget about when something ends, something else can begin. But the problem for a lot of people is that something will end, but then they're still doing the same thing. And that's when they get stuck into, quote unquote, the karmic cycle, because you haven't learned your lesson. Hey, Miss Asha, you haven't learned your lesson. Things that happen are supposed to teach you a lesson, right? So you can go back and reflect on what happened, and also go back and reflect on the part that you potentially had to play in the ending, right? Because for a lot of people, they think that life is happening to them. For a lot of people, sorry to tell you, your actions do have consequences, right? Your actions do have consequences, whether they are consequences immediately or maybe later, right? Your actions have consequences. And I see a lot of times people are just like, oh, well, this happened because of this. Okay, but you have to examine your part in it. You have to examine your part in it. It is part of the fabric of the universe, spiritual, woo woo, esoteric, whatever. There is starts, there are starts, there are endings, beginnings and endings. What goes up comes down. The as above, the so below. So make no mistake about it. When you see some things ending, right? Its time is probably up, or the end had to come for something else new to begin. And a lot of people don't want to deal with that. They want to just point the finger and try and find a culprit. A lot of things, a lot of endings are spiritual messages that people really need to heed and understand. So, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I said, it's not easy at all being this person. And it's funny, like I said, one of my students in my class last night, asked me, like, how do you deal with when you see things that, that are downers, that are bad things? What do you do? I'm like, you still tell the truth. You still tell the truth, right? You can choose your words wisely, but you still tell the truth. So, yeah, it's very interesting doing this type of work. It does make you reflect on yourself as a human, reflect on humans as a species, right? And our place in the fabric of the cosmos. But at the same time, you also learn a lot of people are on BS. And a lot of people don't want to be accountable for things, especially when we live in a society that is governed, right? As long as there is civilization, as in structure, right, we're going to be governed by something or someone, right? No man is an island out here. So, yeah, definitely have to continue doing the good work and being good people and stuff like that. But make no mistake about it, those major spiritual lessons, sometimes they come as endings. I mean, Donna, yes, spirit can fix things, but the thing about it is you'll be fixing things over and over and over with spirits until you learn your lesson. And that's what I'm getting at. A lot of people don't learn their lessons. They aren't understanding what's happening because they feel like it's an attack on them, when no, you should really, really check what it is that you're doing and or saying. I see it all the time. They'll fix it for you up to a point because you still have to learn lessons. You have to learn the lessons. The lessons that you're supposed to learn, you have to learn the lessons. Okay? You have to learn the lessons. And most people don't want to learn the lessons. They want to ignore the lessons. They go around them, they sidestep them, they sweep them under the rug, and then again they don't recognize their place and contribution to what has happened. So yeah, you can get spirits to fix stuff for you. But until you learn you learn your lessons, That's something happening to you over and over and over and over again. That's not anybody else but you. That's you. Major things being taken away from you, falling from grace, as the saying goes, that's not anybody but you. Hey, Britiani. Yeah, and this is what people fail to do. People fail to do this. They don't learn the lessons when things happen. They don't learn the lessons. Yeah, absolutely. You have to learn the lessons. Hey, boo. Britiani. Yeah, you have to learn the lessons because you can't grow, you can't be better, you can't, until you learn the lessons. And humans have a real bad habit of ignoring the lessons. They always say, like, the red flags. Red flags don't always come from other people. Sometimes you the red flag. Sometimes you are the red flag. So I say that to say, and I'm really not going to be on here long. I'm going to get off of here in a few minutes. If you all, I had a live stream scheduled for today at 6 o'clock p.m. California time here on my YouTube channel. But I'm moving that live stream to Patreon, right? And I'm not mentioning my Patreon so people can, I'm not trying to get more quote unquote Patreon patrons, but the topic of the conversation and the subtleties and the nuances with regard to the live stream that's being moved to my Patreon, right? Nyla and I were going to live stream together from our Patreons, right? Um, is because people don't heed the warnings. Many people are bad judge of character and other people, and sometimes people think that they can keep doing a certain thing without consequence, you know, to the point where, things go wrong, right? Yeah, so tomorrow I'm going to be reading energies and stuff like that. Oh, no, no, no. You said an esoteric question live stream? Um, probably probably not for a week or so because those live streams get they can go kind of left, right? They can go kind of left. So not for a while, but tomorrow I will be, looking at November energies and people can ask their tarot questions tomorrow. So I'll be doing that tomorrow. But yeah, the topic of tonight's live stream is going to be very serious. The energies around it are very serious. And again, like I said, moving it from public YouTube live stream to private on Patreon because unfortunately, and I'm trying to think, how do I say this? Unfortunately, some people will not be able to reconcile why something had to happen because of because of how do I say this? Because yeah, it's easy to not take accountability for certain things. So when you have energies that are natural energies that destroy things and break things down, and one isn't taking accountability for certain things and seeing the red flags, that natural cosmic energy of destruction is going to destroy. So I'll say it like that. I don't want trolls, but for some people, their feelings may be hurt. For some people, their feelings may be hurt. And I'm going to do my best. We're going to do our best to explain the spiritual energies, right, of things and why some things just have to happen sometimes, right? So, yeah, it'll be on Patreon. It'll be on Patreon, but it won't be public. So if y'all want to see that tonight, please join my Patreon or join Nyla's Patreon because that's where it's gonna be. Where hey Miss Anonymous, yeah, if y'all want to see that, make sure you join my Patreon because we're gonna get into it tonight. Um, spiritually, esoterically, especially with the energy of Scorpio is gonna do what it's gonna do. The energy of Scorpio, with its ties to Mars and destruction, the energy of Scorpio is going to do what it's going to do. It just is what it is. So, the energy of Scorpio is going to do what it's going to do. So, yeah. No, it's not a Zoom. It's not a Zoom. It's going to be a StreamYard link. I'm going to post a StreamYard link on my Patreon. About a few minutes before 6 o'clock or whatnot. So I've already emailed my Patreon peeps. And I put the message on my YouTube community wall, just in case anyone wants to join. But yeah, I have to explain some things. Nyla and I have to explain some things. Because I will say that in a roundabout way, since the thing happened, I've been seeing just a bunch of negative energy, right? And people not understanding that like some of y'all are being hateful and destructive for no reason. So yeah. Yeah, it's deep. It's deep. It's real deep. And yeah, it's deep. And again, if anyone joins my Patreon just for the live, I just ask that you sit and listen to the information. Empty out your cup and what you think you know before you come to the Patreon for the stream. Empty out your feelings, empty out your cup, right? So that you can fully immerse yourself in the information. That's all I ask. So that's about it. I just wanted to, like I said, speak on that. It's not always fun being the psychic, the person who sees things, the person who pieces energies together, because when it's something that somebody don't want to hear, we are the ones that get that hate. We are the ones who are ridiculed or made fun of, or they talk shit about us, or they want to try and harm us. So it's not always fun to be the person who sees things, especially when it's heavy energy or a negative situation. It's not fun being that person. So okay, Donna asks, is that personal energy y'all are reading on us or on society? We'll be looking at spiritual cosmic energies, right? And how spiritual cosmic energies can bring about certain things, certain destructions, and how the destructions of certain when certain things end, right? a lot of times it's because the thing had to end because the behavior hasn't changed. So when you have cosmic energy that's about ending things and one isn't changing what they're doing, we shouldn't be surprised when certain things happen. So it'll be a specific conversation. The conversation will be specific. The conversation will be specific. And I already know some people ain't gonna want to hear it, but as someone who does this and lives this, the parallels are not coincidences, okay? The parallels it's not a coincidence. When things happen, it's not a coincidence, okay? Not a coincidence. There are no coincidences, especially when we're talking about the spiritual world. There are no coincidences. So, like I said, some people are going to be triggered, but it is what it is. They can be triggered, but you have to hear the truth about the spiritual aspect of things. So, I hope that answers your question. I hope that answers your question, Donna. So, I hope that answers your question. Yeah, some people don't want to hear it, but you got to get this information anyway. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and oh my goodness. Yeah, with that being said, you're welcome, Donna. With that being said, like I said, if you all want to get in on this, join my Patreon or Nyla's Patreon. Join my Patreon for spiritual and esoteric teachings and knowledge. If you want that, um, so join my Patreon if you want that. If you don't want that, that's fine. Like I said, I'm not here trying to sell things to people. My work speaks for itself. But yeah, if y'all want to get on that live stream tonight, join my Patreon or join Nyla's because that's where it's going to be. It's not going to be here on YouTube anymore. So I love you all. Hey, Empress Kia. I love you all, and I really need to go ahead and get my day started and then prepare myself for this tonight because it's going to get deep. Oh, I'll be live again on my channel at 3 o'clock California time. I'll be live again later on. And then the spiritual conversation at 6 o'clock p.m. California time, my Patreon and Nyla. So that's about it. I love you all. I hope you all have a great Halloween, Samhain. We're getting ready for Dia de los Muertos, All Saints Day, All Souls Day. The veil is real thin right now. So I hope you all are taking advantage of the veil being thin. But that's it. That's all. I love you all. And I will see y'all a little bit later. Bye.